What's up, everybody? Luke Film Boss here, and today I'm going to be reacting to the Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power San Diego Comic-Con trailer. And so far, I have not been impressed with this Lord of the Rings show. The teasers have been very disappointing, and it looks like this show just wants to kind of take a dump on everything that Tolkien, not everything, but a lot of what Tolkien made. And the filmmakers behind it honestly admit to that they're changing his work to make it line up with today's society, and that doesn't make sense to me. Like, that is kind of like deleting the whole point of a fantasy that takes place in like this ancient time of mythology and all that stuff. So I don't know, I'm gonna watch this. This is the first actual trailer, and it's 3 minutes long, so maybe we'll get some insight to what the story is actually about, and maybe a little bit more insight into the characters. I don't want to be disappointed, but so far there's been like 2 or 3 teaser trailers, and they've all been disappointing. So I'm gonna get into this one.
We thought the war, at last,
Yeah, that's
was ended.
pretty interesting. A big
Today,
pile of helmets.
our days of peace begin.
We thought our joys would be unending. We thought our light would never dim.
The skies are strange.
You just hear Galadriel, the moment we feared.
Huh.
Evil
Cool.
does not sleep. It waits.
That must be Sauron.
Beyond the darkness, tempting shadow to bury us all beneath the mountain.
He has not one name, but many.
Have you heard of him, lad? Have you heard of Sauron?
Who's this kid? Ooh, creepy. Wait a minute.
If the evil rising is left unchecked, it will take us all.
Find the light, and the shadow will not find you.
Together we can survive this!
Ooh, what?
Fight with me.
Each of us must decide who we shall be.
There can be no trust between hammer and rock. Eventually, one or the other must surely break.
You have been told many lies of Middle-earth.
Not terrible. Like, the other trailers I gave like a dislike. Oh, looks like I turned it off too soon. What is that, a Balrog? Yes, it was. There was a Balrog. I'm not gonna give this one a dislike. Like, this one, it got a dislike ratio. Wow, it has more dislikes than likes. I didn't think it was that bad. Once again, I think that the characters are the problem, and that might affect this story, but so far I think the story, at least there's a focus. Like, we at least know what it's going to be kind of about. Like, we knew already, but not really. But yeah, it's going to be kind of like battling against Sauron and trying to like vanquish the evil before it happens, before he creates the rings, and him kind of coming in and making problems. And I'm sure throughout the series he's gonna be like forging these rings and giving them out to the men and the dwarves, and we're gonna be seeing their corruption and their fall, which might be interesting. But once again, what does Warrior Galadriel have to do with that? And what does this not elf character who got grabbed up by those hand things, what does he have to do with this? And what does a female ruler of Gondor have to do with it? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. That's not how the line of kings works. Hence the name, the line of kings. It's not the line of the queens, it was the line of kings. That's how, like, Isildur and them, like, passed on, you know, the name of king and the rank of king down to Aragorn. So that doesn't make sense. And then there's some random kid that doesn't tell us who he is. Not to mention, there was none of the Harfoots were in this trailer except for that one. And I don't know his name. And I don't know. Are the Harfoots even going to be important to this? I don't know, because they had nothing to do with this trailer. You just have that one scene where he's like, the skies are strange, or something like that. I don't know. So, not a perfect trailer by any means. It wasn't terrible. It didn't get me excited once again. The only reason I gave a dislike to, like, the first, it was the Super Bowl trailer. The reason I gave that a dislike is because it was so bland and generic and boring. This one at least had some interesting shots and some interesting scenes, while there was other scenes that I kind of like, yeah, that doesn't work. And character moments where, like, you just have random characters that we have no clue who they are, and the trailer doesn't even try to give us any insight to them. I mean, yes, that's the point of watching it, but if you don't care about anything from the trailers, like, the most interesting part I thought was Sauron. So, and I don't want to get into the political or social, I guess you'd say, aspect of things, talking about how woke this show is. I already made a video on that. My position on that is still firm. A lot of the representation in this show does not make any sense, but I'm not going to point any of them out in particular. I just, outside of, you know, the woman queen of Gondor, it's just like a lot of the characters in this show just don't make sense. And it's kind of hard to talk about the show without talking about the certain characters and not acknowledging that they are not accurate to the books, or they're not the way they should be. So I don't want to get political about it, but it's kind of hard not to, because the movie or the show kind of forces you to make some mention of it, because it's impossible to talk about this without acknowledging that it doesn't make any sense. So it might be an entertaining watch. I just don't like to see this happen to the Lord of the Rings. And some of the shots looked really good. Some of them just looked average. Like, they didn't look special. Like, everything in Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, and even most of The Hobbit, I know a lot of people had a problem with that, but I thought those movies looked pretty good. And they definitely looked better than this. Like, there were some interesting shots, but not nearly enough. So I'm still not excited for this show. At least this trailer was watchable and got me a little bit interested, but not much. So thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell to help you be on the lookout for more videos from Luke Film Boss.